YouTube and fellow TCG creators. So, a couple of days ago I uploaded a video for you guys, and it was a teaser trailer of a TCG what I am attempting to create myself. Now, this video is more of an introduction video to the game, so I'm not going to include a tutorial or a massive list of cards. That is very will come in a future video. So, the game itself, actually, I'll go on about myself first. So, firstly, I'm Chris, and I've designed this game myself, or the artwork is done myself, and the whole crafting side of the card is done by myself as well. I do get a little bit of criticism from friends and family, and hopefully onto YouTube I will be getting more comments and hopefully positive criticism of this game. So, the game itself is called Wrath of Kors. Now, if you watched the trailer I uploaded earlier, you will notice that every piece of art I have actually spent a reasonable amount of time on, and that also goes for the back of the card, and this is the primary design of the back of the card. It basically resembles two cores, a good core, or a core of good if you like, and a core of bad or evil on the other side. Names to be confirmed. So, this video is not a tutorial, but more so to show you how the primary concepts of the game, how it works, but no, I'm not going to go straight into detail about it. I'll also show you some artwork I've got for the cards and some information about decks and sets, what I've got in mind. So, here we go. So, the game's based around these core cards. Now, there will be different types of cores, and they represent the player and basically what they do themselves. So this is the core of light, and this is obviously one of the good cores, and the abilities on the left there, they both resemble something what you would expect from something to do with the power of good. The core resembles the player, so this big number here is the health points of the core, and you need to keep track of that, so you could use a phone calculator or a notepad and pen. And the aim of the game is to basically defend and protect your core while attacking the opponent core, and when a core reaches 0, that player loses the game. So that's the primary idea of the game itself. Now, as for the mechanics, you will notice a couple of ideas. Well, I've tried staying away from how other popular TCGs work, but you might see a couple of recurrences as such. So, the primary aim of the game. So, sorry, just throwing words at you here. So, yeah, the card types. There's about 8 card types in the game. So you've got your core, you've got creatures are called units in this game. So there we've got a Cellar Dragon. We've got terrain cards, and I'll come into them in a second. We've got response and action cards, which work very similar to each other. And as you can see, I've got the backs all done here. Right, so we'll get onto a couple of the mechanics. Now, the first primary, I suppose I could call it a cosmetic mechanic to the game, is the way that the cards are laid out. And the idea is, instead of calling it a field or a battlefield, it is called a landscape. So you will start with this core on the table, and so you will your opponent, and then over time you will get these terrain cards. I'll try and find a couple more here, all jumbled up at the moment, and basically these will be going next to each other, and as these things get wider and wider, you'll start to see like a landscape designing in front of yourself, and of course the colours of these terrains will obviously, like if you chose the red terrain, then you would have like volcanoes and deserts, for example, and they would just correlate to what type of cards you will be playing. So there will be something a bit like that. Now, I don't really want to go into too much detail because the video will start getting quite lengthy. So what I'm going to do next is go through the sets of the card. Well, there's only one set which I've actually finished, and I'm hoping to get 2 primary sets out, then a couple of boosters, well, cards for boosters should I say, and make a 3rd set and then another set of boosters, and that would be like one block, if you like, one block of decks. The game's currently still, it's not available to the public at the moment because I'm awfully new to this whole TCG thing. I'm always on YouTube looking out for new TCG videos what have been uploaded recently, and yeah, so I mean, if you're a fellow TCG crafter, then you know, just subscribe to me on YouTube. I'll subscribe to you back, and then, you know, God knows, you know, we can get talking about getting these new cards sorted. I mean, I do have a Game Crafter account, and there is one deck actually there, but it's not available to the public. And I'm trying to get my head around how it works, and hopefully get some proper cards created for this game, what I'm thinking of. So that's basically how the decks will work and the ideas behind what I've got in mind. Now, I do have loads of ideas, and I want to try and keep the game as simple as possible, but with a little bit of complexity to the game itself. The most complex card probably being the creatures, or the units, should I say. So let me just find that dragon again. So if the player gets a dragon out, you might have noticed that the unit cards have actually got all manners of numbers in this ability thing here. And what I've tried to do with the game is add a bit of random generation to the game. And it's going to sound weird, but basically when you go into battle with these units, for each creature, or should I say for each unit you've got on the field, you've got to roll a die for that unit. And whatever number comes up this here will predict the outcome of what this creature does in battle. So, as a general rule of thumb, the lower the number, the worse outcome, and the higher the number, the better the outcome. So, when I've tried to add a little bit of realism to the game, I mean more so that units can miss in battle, or outcomes can overreact. Overreacting meaning something stupidly powerful has happened. So, for example, let's take this dragon. If you roll a 1, it'll miss. So, the dragon will still be in battle, and it could take damage, but if it misses, then it deals no damage, and the damage is basically the attack value here in the bottom left corner. 2 to 4. If you roll a number between 2 and 4, then that's just a regular hit. If you get 5, this is where it starts getting pretty good. It hits, and then this dragon gains an extra 100 attack. And then if you're lucky enough to roll a 6, then you will get this overreact here, which says it'll hit, and then all the enemy units lose 100 attack for this turn. So if your enemy is defending or attacking with, let's say, 6 units, then that's 600 damage, which would be negated. Now, battles can get quite complex, and I'm not going to go into it in this video because already it's 10 minutes long and it feels like I've been speaking for 20 seconds. So right now I'm just going to go through a bit of the artwork with you and what I've got in mind. I don't want to reveal everything I've got yet, but I'll try and go through the ones which were in the previous video, as well as a couple of new ones, so you can get the gist of how much effort I'm actually putting into these cards. So you've just seen the Stellar Dragon, so you can get a good angle on that. The cards do have a bit of lore behind them, but when I edited the card into the computer, I just started, well, I don't know, I just decided to take them off. So you've got a foot soldier here, and a shield guard. So as you can tell, this is the first set. This is like the deck of good, if you like. River. And this deck is based around a medieval fantasy type idea. And the second deck will be like basically like the deck of evil. Well, I'm not going to call it the deck of evil. I'll think of a name soon. Probably deck of destruction or the deck of darkness or something daft like that. And that deck, the second deck, is really interesting because that deck is going to be setting the base for a lot of future sets. And what I mean by that is basically the core in the second set, in its story, if you like, or its backstory, it is going to be bringing creatures from other areas of the world into its domain. So when the second set comes out, unlike the first set, which is primarily based around, all the cards are basically medieval type cards, the second set won't be so constructed. It would be very random, so you could have dragons or demons or little cretins, or you could have jungle creatures, or it's because it's pulling units from other parts of the world, and that is really interesting, I think, because if there's something in that deck, then and you don't see it for a couple of years, then you know that is coming up in the future. So there is a idea for all the units, for the types of cards I'm going to be creating, and I do have a big list of things I want to implement into the game. It's just trying to get everything sorted, and of course with it being brand new, I've got ideas everywhere. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it is quite time consuming, and I just wanted to show you this video just to show you very briefly what I've been working on. So I've got, these are the ones I haven't laminated, and I'm coming into the duplicates now. So yeah, I'm not going to go for every single card because this video is starting to get quite lengthy now. So yeah, that's basically a general overview of the cards what I have got created here for you guys. So if you do like the idea, or if there's any questions, if there's anything I've missed, or this is probably one of the first videos I've ever recorded in a very long time, which I'm actually speaking over, then I've probably missed a lot of stuff out, and I will get to it in a future video. So yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of homemade TCGs, or even if you're a TCG crafter, then please subscribe to me. I will subscribe back to you, and we can think of some ideas, or if you've got anything what you think I can improve on, or what you think is bad about the game, or if there's just any questions in general, then please just don't hesitate to post a comment in that video. I'm trying to get as many people to see this game as possible, not to make money, well, it would be nice to make a little profit on a hobby, but judging by what I'm actually trying to achieve is a card game which people will like and hopefully get reasonably popular. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to have to stop this video here because it's nearly 15 minutes long. So thank you for watching, and I will create another video soon. Goodbye.